So at the end of the 9 months, I was basically skin and bones, and I couldn't even stand up. The guards like telling me, you can escape as many times as you want, but don't get caught. This is what will happen to you if you get caught.
With a lot of like the Trump administration and like, you know, like migrants, like where do you stand, like you as a citizen?
How efficient are like North Korean, I don't know if you call it police, but any type of police
Military?
or like related
Secret
forces?
police, there's like two kind of like a police officers, right? So we have like literally the police officers like who are kind of in charge of like regular things like thieves and all those different things. But there's another type of police officer called like secret police, like KGBs for example, right? And like a Russian KGB type of. The secret police are very efficient, but the police, they're not. It's like not as efficient. Yeah.
I see. So North Korea is like partnered or gets like funding from China partially, or like is that a?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or,
I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, but is China like? Are they considered allied with North Korea?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And, China and Russia as well.
Okay,
Yeah. China and Russia are like considered as like allies of North Korea.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
Well, I kind of have like two questions.
Yes.
So like just to add on, so you said you escaped twice.
Yes.
So what happened? Why'd you come back?
Yeah. I didn't come back by choice.
Okay.
I got captured and then I was deported back to North Korea because Chinese government don't recognize North Koreans as refugees or economic migrants from North Korea. So any North Korean in China, they will be captured and they will be deported back to North Korea. So that's what happened to me.
Okay. So like what kind of gave you the mentality? Like you said you were 16.
Yeah.
What like cognitions gave you like I need to escape? Like when did you realize like
That's a good question.
like was there outside information?
Yeah.
Like you said your dad was a part of it.
Yeah.
Like were you guys aware that like your life there wasn't like as good? Because
That's
like I have a lot of my entire family, like they crossed the river from Mexico to like America. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's
yeah.
like for you to consciously put yourself at a risk like that,
Yeah.
like there's obviously information where it's like to leave would make my life better.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
for you, like when was it when you guys were like,
Yeah.
I need to leave?
Yeah. So that's a really good question, and like, yeah, and sometimes like so when I first escaped North Korea and when I came to China when I was 14, like I've seen like my life there was like heaven, right? It's like I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna eat next. Like I don't have to worry about like, oh, if I watch this, because in North Korea there is no freedom of information, there is no internet, there is no there is nothing, right? There is like nothing. And if you were to watch like South Korean drama, like you would actually end up going to prison, right? Because that's forbidden, right?
Yeah.
And like coming to China, there is just freedom of information, right? There's like, well, I mean, still it's limited, right? It's like, oh, like China is still a dictatorship, right? And China still is like a communism, much like communism, but still better than North Korea. And learning about the like South Korean dramas and watching those and not having to worry about like I'm gonna get in trouble, like that kind of changed my perspective in a little bit, right? And like, as a 14-year-old, like when I was back home, like if I watch these, like I'm gonna go to prison, or like I'm gonna get in a big trouble. But yeah, that kind of helped me shape the idea of like North Korea might not be like what I was taught that it was, right? And that theory was confirmed when I got captured and deported back to North Korea, and I went to this North Korean defectors detention center where I was forced to work up to 12 hours every day and eating 50 kernels of corn per meal. And there are people who's counting that corn as their job, right? So at the end of the 9 months, I was basically skin and bones, and I couldn't even stand up or even walk because I was malnourished. And they released me, right? And I was like 15.
Yeah.
And they released me, and I didn't go to 4 years prison camp because I was a minor.
Yeah.
And also that kind of process of 9 months, like being closer to death, and the guards like telling me you can escape again, but if you do, and you can escape as many times as you want, and you can do whatever you want, but don't get caught. this is what will happen to you if you get caught, right? That kind of like I vow that I would like die trying like escape North Korea, like how many times it would take. And then right after I was released, I was in no condition to escape North Korea, and quite frankly I never thought about trying to escape North Korea again, because like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in big trouble if I get caught again. There's no second chance for me. But I realized while I was working at coal mine, like I've seen a lot of people like lose their limbs, and even their lives because of the accidents. Like I realized that I'm gonna die like this, and like I need to find a way and to escape North Korea again, because like I couldn't forget about the freedom that I had in China. Yeah. Sorry. So that was kind of like a long way of answering. I hope that answered your question.
I guess I had one more too.
Yeah.
Like,
Go. No,
also,
go
like
for
with
it.
a lot of like the Trump administration and like like migrants, like where do you stand? Like you as a citizen, like are you a U.S. citizen, or like do you live in America? Like where do you reside?
Right. Yeah. Well, so the reason why North Korean refugees could come to America is because George W. Bush, like he has signed like he was the first one to sign like, oh, we're accepting like North Korean refugees. And I've also gotten like a lot of scholarships from him as well, like the Bush Institution. So and also Obama accepted me, and he allowed me to come to America, and I got my citizenship back in 2018, and Trump gave me citizenship. So I'm grateful for any administration, right? Because for a fact, like I've gotten second chance at life. Right? If America didn't accept me, like I probably won't have this kind of opportunity for me to come talk to you guys.
So and then like also like one last thing, like how this is like two questions.
Oh no,
so,
go for it. Sure.
How many other like North Koreans like are there like in America that like what's the success rate, and also I forgot my last question, but kind of like how many, like is it, because I feel like I've never heard of like
North Korean refugees.
I've never heard that.
There are 400 North Korean refugees in the entire country, only 400.
Wow.
So I'm one of the rare bird. Right. And in terms of like the success rate, back in 2017, 1 out of every 1,000 North Korean refugees make it to South Korea, right? So from early 2000s until 2025, there are a total of 32,000. Well, the number might have increased by a little bit, but so 32,000 North Korean refugees. And there are 25 million North Korean people in North Korea, but 32,000 made it out to South Korea, and there are 400 in the United States. So it's very rare, and it's really hard to escape. And especially after the COVID happened, zero. So back in 2020, 2020 to 2022, like the numbers were zero. Yeah.
Okay, and then also like, so would you never be able to return to North Korea ever again? Like, are you considered like a criminal technically over there?
Well, I mean, I escaped twice, right? So, like, if I got captured, deported back, well, I hopefully not. I'm not allowed in.
Okay.
It will be a one-way trip for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would probably be publicly executed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. And then
I mean that's the normal realm in North Korea.
Yeah.
Like kids, how old are you guys?
like 20.
20s, well, the kids that are younger than you, like 16, 15, they actually are forced to watch public execution in the very front row, because they want to teach you like this is what happened to you if you don't listen to whatever the regime says, right? So